Tashin, New Canaan Zoning Board of Appeals, 7:01 PM on December 1st, 2025. We'll come to order for our hearing. If we could all take attendance, this is a virtual meeting only. Luke Tashin present.
Dell present.
Hardin present.
Rich Garrett, present.
I think Chad's present but muted.
Jessica,
I already said I was present.
so we're just waiting on Chad.
No, I think just Alex. I don't see Alex.
Looks like, yeah, Chad is having some technical difficulties.
Yep. And then it looks like our new member Ian just joined the call as well.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Yeah,
Hi.
nice to meet you. Chad, can you? Here, why don't I just sit Ian as an alternate? And we have the 5 people,
Sure.
Sarah? So that way Chad doesn't have to worry about the technical side there. Okay. So Ian, welcome to the New Canaan Zoning Board of Appeals. I'm Luke Tash and I'm the chair. We have a 5-person board. We have 2 alternates on the board. Chad is having problems with his computer, so we're going to seat you as the alternate tonight. That gives us a quorum of, oh no, we have,
Yeah, that would get you to 5.
that would get us, okay. So I was trying to, it's not displaying all the people's names for me. Okay, so the first item on our agenda tonight is the approval of the minutes. The minutes were posted to the website. Does anyone have any comments on the September 8th minutes?
No.
No.
We had I guess we need no, I guess we have enough people there even without Chad vote. Oh, Chad, you're on now.
Yep, testing.
Okay, thank you. So I'd move to that we allow the minutes as drafted.
Cardin seconds.
Tash in favor.
Dell in favor.
Cardin in favor.
Garrett, in favor.
Luke in favor.
Okay. On the next item on our agenda is approval of the 2026 meeting schedule. Has everyone received that? That was also on the website.
Yep.
Anyone, any comments or concerns regarding it? Okay. Luke Tash, I'd move to allow the meeting schedule.
Cardin second. Cardin in favor.
Dell in favor.
Garrett, in favor.
Luke in favor.
I think is that 4 people?
And we're not at 5?
Yep. Ian.
Rasmussen in favor.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda, are there any other administrative matters before the town? Sarah?
Yeah, so just a couple. Thank you all for joining tonight on Zoom for such a short meeting. We really just needed to approve the 2026 calendar. But as you will know, we haven't really gotten any applications and we don't have any on the docket for January. We will potentially have an executive session. I'm still waiting to hear from the attorneys on the Pastures Lane appeal from last year. I believe there's some sort of, settlement that's getting close to potentially needing to be discussed by the board. So that will either be in January or potentially February, depending on how those discussions that I'm not a party to go. And then because we have such few applications, but I don't want, the board to get rusty with hearing applications. If we don't have an executive session in January or February. So one of those 2 months, whichever one we don't have the executive session, I'm hoping to put together a training for you all. I don't want it to be repetitive to, what we did this time last year. So, I will come up with something, if no one has any particular topics that they don't, that they can think of, but, I'm all ears if there's anything that the board in particular would like to learn more about. You could email me, or if anyone has anything off the top of their head, they're welcome to let me know.
Sounds good.
That's a good idea.
Okay. And then,
Could
my
you,
final, yeah,
sorry,
there you go. Yeah.
Sarah, if we could maybe cover the issue of whether something's in character with the area. Because I mean, my street is one, as you know, where there's a development that looks a little out of character, but
Yeah.
meets all of the, I guess, the zoning rules. So it didn't actually come before the ZBA, and I wouldn't have been able to sit for that anyway, due to the proximity. But I know it was an issue that we covered on a prior application, so it might be something that would be helpful to hear kind of the current Connecticut perspective and legal stance on that in case it comes up before us again, because it seems like a lot of these projects are getting a little bit bigger and kind of pushing to the max on what's allowed. So that might come up in the next few years.
Great. Yeah. And I think, that kind of leads well into the one other thing that I wanted to, just bring to the board's attention. The Planning and Zoning Commission is right now in the process of updating their zoning regulations, and we anticipate having a pretty substantial draft in like March of 2026. And so, getting feedback from the board is going yourselves is going to be very important, just because you see a very unique side to the zoning regulations. The 6 to 7 of you are really the only ones in town that, see the negative sides of the regulations when, a variance comes to you all and whatnot. So, once we get into the spring, whether we have a specific meeting with you all, or if I'm just looking for like written comment from you all, I'll have a better idea of what's going on. But I think, like, to your point, Jessica, about the character, I think that's really going to come into play, because exactly like you said, everyone is just maxing out what they're trying to do. And so the Planning and Zoning Commission is trying to look at that to see, what can be done to try to combat that.
I think the other issue that keeps coming up, that would be helpful to be, or two issues that'd be helpful to be addressed, and then we've discussed both these before, and the new zoning bylaws is blockage, making it not more non-conforming even if you stay in the footprint. Because I understand, from some of our discussions, some towns are on point on that, some towns are silent like we are.
Yeah.
And then the second issue that comes up a lot that I think the non-compliance rate in our town must be extremely high on is the retaining walls within the setbacks. Because I really believe strongly some of the arguments that have been made that those are intended to prevent the loom from going up. It's not so much of an issue if you're making your property go down.
Yeah.
It seems like that's counterproductive if you're making your property lower, so it's less imposing on neighboring properties and not draining water onto neighboring properties, or rather coming onto yours and things like that. I think that part, they should look into, so it's at least consistent with what their intent is behind that provision.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point.
And 2 points I have. One, the whole concept of the hardship, right? For the training we did go through last year, they were pretty firm on what a hardship, is. So, maybe some discussion around that could be helpful. I say could. And then, so think about that, Sarah,
Okay.
maybe, with the town attorney or someone in authority that just give us some guidance, or at least a discussion. I know a lot of it is judgmental. And then 2, you do talk about the new zoning, laws coming out. I don't know if it's helpful that someone go through. I mean, we could read it ourselves like a red line, but maybe, what the significant changes are. I don't know if it's worth it, someone to present that to us, or we could just read that on our own too. So
Yeah, I think I'll and the consultants will make that determination a little later when we actually know how much of the changes are growing legs and, have likelihood of, being supported by the Planning and Zoning Commission. So there is a decent likelihood that whether it's myself or the consultant in like, the April-ish time period, we would, present to you the specific changes. So I will keep you all updated on that.
Sarah, the only other issue that I could see coming up would be maybe something about low-income housing, anything that might have an application that addresses that or incorporates that. I don't know to what extent that will reach us or if that's more special permitting, but if there is anything you know of that would reach us or could reach us, that might be a helpful tutorial as well.
Definitely, yeah. Everything that would impact you all will be sure to brief you on before it's even, close to being adopted. Affordable housing, I don't envision off the top of my head coming to you all, but yeah.
Think like
Yeah.
related to Rich Caritu's point, Luke Tashin speaking, I think, when we have this training, it'd be helpful to discuss that I guess the collaborative approach we've always had to working through issues as opposed to, necessarily applying the letter of the law
Yeah.
in the most strict construction. I mean, we're a collaborative town, and I think that's something that's distinguishable to us. So I think when they discuss the standards, I think it should be in light of, how we've always tried to work collaboratively with people.
Yep. All right. That's all I have. World's shortest meeting, maybe.
Okay, so Luke Tashin, 7:12 p.m. and move to adjourn the meeting.
Dell seconds.
Tashin in favor.
Cardin in favor?
Dell in favor.
Carrie,
Luke,
in favor?
Russ?
Luke in favor.
Great.
Happy
Thanks,
holidays, everybody.
Yes. And welcome, Ian.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Nice seeing you all next time in person.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.